We are going to have a great show for you today. We have some interesting, important subjects to talk about today, folks. And I hope you are here listening. If you're from listening to Rourke, stick around because this affects us all. If you're listening to the People's News, stick around because this affects us all. I really need you to understand what we're going to talk about today because you are empowering of yourself in what we're going to talk about. Anyhow, folks, anyhow, as you all know as well, we are in Fund Drive. And I know a lot of people hate to hear that magical word fund drive because what it means is that, oh, you're not, people think you're just going to do pitching, but that's not how we do it here. We do their pitching, but we also give you the substantive news, the substantive information. In the studio with me is Tori. Tori, my dear brother, my ally in crime. How are you doing, my brother?
Oh, excellent. Just enjoying this beautiful weather.
I know it's nice outside, isn't it?
Oh, it's awesome.
I know. But anyhow, we are going to have a great show today. But anything you want to tell us from the weekend or anything, a quickie that you want to talk about or anything?
Well, I went down to a public meeting for Freeport LNG. The Sierra Club demanded that the EPA get involved and do a public meeting about this LNG terminal that blew up in Freeport last June. And, this is in the middle of a city. Right. And it's just, it's a crime against humanity that there's even this kind of industrial stuff in any city limit, period.
And, folks, Tori, the reason Tori told me the story this morning when he came in, and the reason I wanted to point that out is to let you know that all of us here at KPFT, whether we are board operators, engineers, talk show hosts, radio jockey, or whatever, we are deeply involved in the community. And not only are we deeply involved in the community, but we are out there making a difference to ensure that the right things happen to us all, both from a government point of view, as well as socially. And that's why we ask you all in these fund drives to give us a call at 713-526-5738 and be a part of a information dispersal organization like KPFT that is there to serve you. Give us a call. I have an important story to talk about today. I tell you what, let me tell you what the product program is today. The title of the show today is Cutting Your Social Security is a Worldwide Trend Forced by the Pathologically Greedy and Selfish. And the subtitle is, if you think the security cuts that Republicans and neoliberals are trying in the United States is some isolated event, you would be wrong. The plutocrats throughout the world just can't get enough. And there's a lot to this subject. There's a lot that you can do. There's a lot that you must do. And we're going to talk about that. I hope to get a couple of callers. I don't want to get too many, but a couple of callers who have something to add to the discussion. But I'd like you to go ahead right now as I'm preempting the show or pre-rolling the show to give us a call now at 713-526-5738. And please give a contribution. You can start with a contribution as low as $25 to be a member of KPFT, a voting member of the Pacifica Network. Just give us a call, 713-526-5738. Option number one. And Corey's going to have a few more words to say.
And I want to try to push this Politics Done Right shirt, KPFT shirt. And it's a little bit larger donation. I think it's $100, but it's a beautiful shirt. We're going to have the picture on the website soon. I'm not sure when, but I would encourage everyone that listens to this show. Here's Johnny, Tracy, David, Ray from 3rd Ward. Get one of these Politics Done Right t-shirts, and we'll have a little party at the station as soon as the shirts are ready. They're print on demand, and we'll meet here, get us a team photo. Politics Done Right, KPFT team photo.
That is great. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, I would love that. If those of you who can swing $100 donation. Remember, you don't have to do this all at once, right? You can prorate it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anything that gives you $100 donation and you qualify for, that T-shirt. If you request that when you go on the website, kpft.org, or if you call 713-526-5738 and hit option number 1. Peggy Lopez is in the space on KPF, or rather on our internet chat. Thank you very kindly for being here, Peggy. I started the chat late, so for those of you who have placed some stuff on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or LinkedIn, I missed your initial messages. So if you're here, please type in another message so that I can give you your due welcome. Anyhow, title of the show: Cutting your Social Security is a worldwide event trend forced by the pathologically greedy and selfish. Subtitle of the show: If you think the security cuts that Republicans and neoliberals are trying in the United States is some isolated event, you would be wrong. The plutocrats throughout the world just can't get enough. And, there are some people who are going to listen to me talk about this essay on Social Security, and the right and other neoliberals have predisposed them to think that anybody that are going to say the words that I'm about to say, that somehow they are some pinko, crazy, liberal, progressive, socialist, communist, anarchist, all that stuff they're going to say. And it hurts me, not on a personal level, but on a social level. And the reason why is this: your Social Security doesn't matter if you are conservative or progressive, liberal or anarchist, liberal or what's that word that you use for that Republicans use that they are as well. Anyhow, it means that you
woke.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't mean any of that. Social Security affects us all. This is one subject we should all be on the same page, whether you're libertarian or not. We should all be on the same page, because good old Ayn Rand, who that objectivism and that stuff about, save yourself, when she, on her dying bed during that time of her death, this most conservative, right-wing hater of a woman, guess who saved her Social Security? Believe it or not.
Ayn Rand was a sociopath.
Yes, she was.
I mean, it's the philosophy of selfish.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. So, folks, before I start, I'm going to ask you one more time: 713-526-5738. Option number 1. Remember, we have the Politics Done Right T-shirt for a contribution of $100. And for a contribution as low as $25, you become a voting member of KPFT, the Pacifica Network. Anyhow, folks, here's the story. I could not express my joy in watching over 1 million workers in France in the streets protesting against the government's attempt to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. Common Dreams reported it as follows. Nearly 1 million people took to the streets of cities across France on Saturday during the 4th round of nationwide protests against President Emmanuel Macron's plans to raise the country's pension eligibility age from 62 to 64. Welcome aboard Travis London, Paul Fleming, and Mike to the internet. The French Interior Ministry said an estimated 963,000 protesters rallied in Paris, Marseille, Nantes, Nice, Toulouse, and other cities and towns, large and small, for the 4th straight day of demonstration. Agence France Presse reports authorities in Paris said nearly 100,000 people turned out to Saturday's demonstrations, which included many young people who would not make it to a previous 3-day protest. Union leaders said the number of Paris protesters was 5 times as high. One team protesting in the capital's Place de la République carried a placard reading, "I don't want my parents to die at work." I don't want my parents to die at work. I want you to think about that. I don't want my parents to die at work. And then I want you guys to realize a bit more. One teen protesting in the capital, others held bands declaring, "No to working longer, not 1 year more, not €1 less," and other slogans. Folks, other cities are starting to get it. We have to get it here in the United States. But there is more to this story. And let me get my screen back together. 9 out of 10 French workers are opposed to the change. Okay, 9 out of 10. The French government is partially justifying the raised age, claiming the retirement age is higher in other European Union countries, to which we should say collectively, who cares? Who the hell cares if other countries have higher retirement rates? How do we look at that, and why should we care? Why should we care? Okay. We should be working to lower it in other countries. I will go into the justification a little bit further below, but just let me tell you, I always find it fantastic that we would say we are going to penalize more human beings because others have penalized them, so let's bring equality in penalization. It always baffled me. It always baffled me that workers in the United States, that people that are fighting for minimum wage in the United States, and a union worker gets it, and then we have other $7.25 workers saying, who do they think they are? We have to work for $7.25, so you should also work for $7.25. The mentality that has been placed upon us, that level of indoctrination that has placed upon us, that goes ahead and say, let's penalize our fellow man to enrich the filthy few. I want you guys to understand that. So when they make that statement, they're saying, look, in the other countries in the European Union, their retirement rate is higher. So why not penalize French people like that too? And the French say, hell no. No. We're not going to penalize upwards. We depenalize downward. So Senator Rick Scott, Republican of Florida, made a mistake when he announced his plan to sunset or kill Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid every 5 years, with the expectation that they would be reauthorized every 5 years. Of course, we know each reauthorization would really, really mean cuts. Cuts. Anytime they talk about letting it sunset to reauthorize, when it reauthorizes, it's a new law with new restrictions, with new avenues, and all of that, right? So if they ever cut it or decide to sunset Social Security, that next Congress has to reauthorize it. And what do you think they're going to do to reauthorize it? We can't even get slight changes right now. We can't even do that. And you think they're not going to cut all of you, my old brothers and sisters out there? You think they're not going to cut it? Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota did not dismiss support for Rick Scott's program to sunset Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Instead, he bloviated and hunkered down. Rounds used the more efficient, the more affluent pundits on the program, which he was on this week. He used the more affluent pundits on the program to make a nonsensical point. He assumed they have good private retirement plans and that they have no substantive government dependency. He did this to justify, without saying it explicitly, because remember, Rick Scott's big mistake was to come out and be honest and say, I want to sunset Social Security. And if the Congress see it deemed to re-up Social Security, they'll do it. Otherwise, no Social Security. But of course, they'll always give you Social Security. They'll just give you pennies on the dollar or something, right? And he's okay with that. But Senator Rounds was a bit more, he was a bit more careful. He did this to justify, without saying it explicitly, that privatizing at least part of Social Security is a possible option. I repeat, it's a possible option. And when you hear people starting to talk like that, always beware. Always beware. I repeat, beware. All right, so it is important for us to beware. All right, so Rounds used the senator used the word manage. And anytime you hear somebody talk about manage, let's bring Dale in and then I'll continue with the wording. Dale, are you there? Come on in, Dale. Dale, you're on. Dale, you're on.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to, first off, I'd like to thank Johnny for the information that he puts forward.
Yes.
I don't know him. I would sure like to know him. But I'm interested in, we're putting a Band-Aid on a whole lot of stuff.
Yes, we are.
I would wonder if we would be able to get a handful of attorneys together over this country somehow and attack this garbage we got as a government and hit them with the RICO Act and clean them up, cut some heads off.
Actually, I think you've just stated something that I hear a lot of good thinking lawyers talk about. Is like we need to start using RICO left and right for a whole lot of stuff that's happening right now.
Exactly right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything else you want to add to the discussion, sir?
Well, I'd like to get in touch with Johnny somehow and see if we can organize this program and get it rolling somehow. Putting Band-Aids on all this stuff is real good, but we need to cut some heads off.
Well, go ahead and send an email to info@politicsdoneright.com. And Johnny, send an email to info@politicsdoneright.com. We'll connect you two, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Also, I'll do that. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, my brother. You have a great day, Dale.
You have a good program.
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day. All right, folks. So again, for those of you that are just joining us, the title of the show today, very important. Tell your friends about it. It's important. Cutting your Social Security is a worldwide trend forced by the pathologically greedy and selfish. If you think the Social Security cuts that Republicans and neoliberals are trying in the United States is some isolated event, you would be wrong. The Plutocrats throughout the world just can't get enough. And I read some of that already, so let me get back to the essay again. Rounds used the most, I'm going to start with the part where he tries to talk about privatization in a very special way. Rounds used the more affluent pundits on the program to make a nonsensical point. He assumed they have good private retirement plans and that they have no substantive government dependency. He did this to justify, without saying it explicitly, that privatizing at least part of Social Security is a possible option to shore it up if they come back into power, the presidency, the House, and the Senate. So you give conservatives and neoliberal that power again, and I can tell you what you're going to have for Social Security. And that is not some sort of a hyperbole. They've been saying this over and over again. What saved us so far is something called the filibuster. But as you can see, they intend to bust the filibuster. I don't know why Democrats haven't done it, but they will. All right, continuing. The senator used the word manage often, as if our Social Security dollars are input to a stock portfolio. The Social Security fix is easy if politicians choose the only correct option. There is one correct option: tax all income and wealth. And notice I added wealth in there, right? to combat the irrational nature of putting some on all the Social Security on the books for Wall Street to pilfer and profit from, he implies that somehow the government will take the risk if Wall Street falters. So here's what I want to explain that a bit. Here's what he's telling you. He's saying, hey, we want you to, we will put your money, some of your Social Security money, into the stock market. And since you know that the stock market can be volatile at times, if the stock market happens to fail, the government will make you whole. I want you guys to understand the stupidity of that statement. If you are going to backstop the stock market, why not backstop Americans instead of giving your money to the stockholders who are going to pay, you are going to pay a management fee and do all that money to give away to the fat cats at Wall Street, saying if they happen to fail, you then, the government, be the backstop. It makes no sense talking about socialism for the corporation, because they never lose. But if they don't make money with your money, after not ever losing, the government picks up the slack. Bob in Cyprus, come on in.
Hi, I just wanted to make one comment, okay? I'm currently reading a book by Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes, sir.
Called Who Stole My Pension?
Right.
And it's a really good book. And for maybe some of your people that are listening, I think it'd be a great place to start. And then the only second thing, I think you said beware or something like that.
Yes.
And that was really solid advice. So anyway, I'm patting you on the back for that one. And that's all I've got to say for you, sir.
Thank you so kindly, Bob. You have a wonderful day out there in Cyprus, okay?
Bye.
Take care now. All right, folks, please, I'm going to pause here for a little bit because I haven't had any pledges yet that I can see on my screen. And we do need to get pledges for the show. If you want to hear this good information, continue. And by the way, this is politics done right. That is all we give you. Solid information that reminds you that you are already empowered to accomplish in our society and do what's necessary to move forward. So I ask you so kindly right now, as I pitch for the next 4 minutes or so, to give us a call at 713-526-5738 and hit option 1 and give us whatever you can. Whether it's $25 for membership, $40 for membership, $100 for the Politics Done Right T-shirt. And you know, I'm gonna let Tori explain the deal that he wants to do with the T-shirt. Go, Tori.
Okay, well, my idea is that I want to hang out with all the folks that listen to Politics Done Right. And if you buy a KPFT T-shirt, the Politics Done Right T-shirt, the idea is that we have a little party here. I'll buy the beer and the sandwiches, and we'll meet here after the show, after the fund drive, after the shirts are printed, because they are print on demand. They're $100. A photo of the shirt should be on the KPFT website soon. It's not there yet, maybe in a day or so, but they're going to be beautiful, and let's get together and meet each other and have a little conjunto here at the station, maybe in the backyard. Come see the station if you haven't had a chance to do that. It's an amazing accomplishment that we have this new building. And so it's going to be time to celebrate after this very successful fund drive. It's going to put us back on track after this long, cloudy, gray period in KPFT's existence, in the existence of the world post-COVID. You know, springtime's coming and things are looking up.
Absolutely. So thank you so kindly, my dear brother. 713-526-5738, option number 1. And like I said, I don't think I have any pledges yet. So be the first. And I'll ring bells and do all kind of stuff for anybody who goes ahead and pledges right during this hour. So I've got 2 more minutes before I get back to the program. So it only takes you a minute to pledge. 713-526-5738, option numero 1. Option 1, 713-526-5738. option number 1. And then if you want to talk, call back again and hit option number 2. But right now, we really need your pledge. Let me tell you something, folks. The mainstream media isn't talking about this sort of stuff that we are talking about here because the plutocracy, I know people think this is not a conspiracy theory or anything like that that I talk about. We have a certain way of being. There are certain things that we are been indoctrinated into believing in. And you know, those of us who study this stuff, I've always said all these types of plans or the way our system works will create certain disparities. And we are watching the instantiation of that right now, that we have that the wealth and income disparity keeps increasing. We've spoken about that people are losing their homes with various techniques like default swaps or reverse mortgages. And look, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't do some of these things because you have to. Society has created instruments that we've had to use because it's such a lousy thing with our health care. It's so lousy with our social security in the aggregate. What I am promoting not when I say I am not speaking Egberto, I'm speaking those of us who have this philosophy. We are promoting a life that all of us should be able to enjoy. And we are a platform here at KPFT that affords us the ability to do so without some corporations telling the station, you can't have that kind of speech here. You can't talk about that here. You can't tell this truth here. That is why KPFT only takes support from people like you. So please, let me just be frank with you, right? On KPFT, like just about everywhere, music shows have a tendency to make more than talk shows. But I am asking you to support this talk show and others, because if we don't show that people are going to support shows like this, eventually they will go away, because that's the only way the station stays alive. 713-526-5738, extension numero 1. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Please, if you've never given before, now is a great time. Whatever you can, $5 a month, that'll be great. $8 something a month for the t-shirt, that'll be great. But let's do it. Let's go ahead and show that, yes, we are going to support programs that really support us. We're going to support a program that really has us first. Think about us first before the commercial or the corporation or anything. And not only that, a program where we can actually have input, a program where we can be a part of it. 713-526-5738, extension 1, and contribute what you can. But be a part of it. You know, we always talk about everybody having skin in the game, you know, and you hear folks say, like, you know, for all these other policies, we want people to have skin in the game. And yes, we do mean that, skin in the game. So please give us a call, 713-526-5738, option 1. I have a lot more to talk about on this Social Security story because I have the marching orders, I have the things that we need to know, I have the things that we need to understand so that others won't fool us. You know, we have somebody in my chat that says, Egberto, no one is getting rid of Social Security or Medicare. It would be political suicide and not even a reality. So quit the gaslighting. So he claims, my friend on my chat right now, he claims that I am gaslighting by saying Social Security is in peril. And I've never said that somehow they won't reauthorize it. I think even in my essay, I said it. They will reauthorize it each time with more cuts, each time with less. They're going to ask you to do more with less, where they'll give you a few bucks and maybe a food pantry can take the rest of you. Maybe a little clothes, used clothes place you can get you. You have to understand that these guys, look, I'm going to give you the bottom answer. Any economy that grows at, let's say, 2-3%, but the wealthy grows at 7 or 8% per year, it's an unsustainable economy, and there are only few areas within that economy that's an escape valve. And that escape valve is Social Security, reducing the amount that people get. There are very few safety valves out there, people. Very few safety valves. Let's see. Travis London says Social Security age eligibility should be lowered down. The lifespan of citizens in the United States is lowered. Actually, that's for the first time in history, our lifespan has dropped. And Travis Landon says, you are speaking truth, Mr. Egberto Willis. Thank you so kindly. And Peggy Lopez says, since Reagan, the GOP and Dems have allowed corporations to remove retirement programs for their workers, Social Security was developed to begin allowing companies to stop offering retirement. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to get all those things out of the purview of corporations. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and continue with the essay. But I ask you so kindly again to give us a call at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Option number 1. We cannot have these quality programs unless, my brothers and sisters, you do it. I'm going to just give a little una mia pobrecita culpa aquí, and that is this. I prepare for these shows every day, and I'll be honest, I work 16 hours a day for doing this, and again, some of it is for the Politics Done Right on the network, and 3 days Politics Done Right here at KPFT. And everything here at KPFT that we do here, that I do here, is entirely on a volunteer basis, including driving the round trip 60-something miles or so, maybe 70 miles or a bit more, to come here on my dime. I'm not saying that for a pat on the back. I'm saying that because it's something that I believe in, something that we believe in. I don't like to use I a lot, but this one I'm being specific to let you know that there is skin in the game. So I am asking you, if you add up the amount of gas and wear and tear on the car used to come here 3 times a week for Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays for Politics Done Right on noon, it adds up to quite a bit more than we're asking individuals to provide to help us keep this station alive. And the reason why we do this is because we see the value. We see the value in being a part of the solution. Many of us sometimes just sit back and say, why don't somebody do something about how they're taking advantage of us? Why don't they do something about us getting the truth since the media is so terrible at telling us the truth? Why don't somebody do something about it? And you know what? We are, but we need your help. We are doing something about it. We are putting skin in the game. We are saying, yeah, we want to make sure things are right by all. We're putting skin in the game. So I ask you kindly, again, call 713-526-5738, option 1. 713-526-5738, option 1. Title of the show today, continuing, cutting your Social Security is a worldwide trend forced by the pathologically greedy and selfish. Continuing, I want to go ahead. Did you have anything to add before I continue, sir?
Oh, well, we need to thank Jane. She called in with a very generous donation. She wants to buy a T-shirt for somebody else.
Oh, wow.
So she put down some big money, and she wants to attend our little party here at Politics Done Right party. That's to be determined when that's going to happen. Maybe we'll do it on a Sunday afternoon or something when people have more time to gather. But thank you so much, Jane.
Jane, I want to give you my most kind thank you. Sometimes when you hear folks do something nice, the words slip you because you want it to be so profound and you just can't pull the words out of your brain. That's where I found it when I heard somebody bought another T-shirt for somebody else. So Tori, you're going to be the one responsible for deciding who gets that other T-shirt. All right, brother?
Okie dokie.
Thank you, my brother. All right, folks. 713-526-5738. Option number 1. All right, continuing, and thank you, Jane. Really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. All right, I want to go back to where we were. The senator used the word manage often as if our Social Security dollars are input to a stock portfolio. The Social Security fix is easy if politicians choose the only correct option: tax all income and wealth. To combat the irrational nature of putting some or all of Social Security on the books for Wall Street to pilfer and profit from, he implies that somehow the government will take the risk if Wall Street falters. If that is the case, why the hell put the money in Wall Street's hands? Just tax all income, including capital gains and wealth. For those who balk at said taxation, remember that every middle-class American pays taxes on their capital every year. Stocks are capital. Real estate is capital. Your car is capital. Your home is capital. How come the capital owned by most of us, your home, your car, all these pieces of capital that you own, there's no rich person is complaining about you paying taxes on that, but try to tax their capital, meaning the stocks. Try to tax their gains. Oh no, it's different. That's different. There's no different about it other than they didn't work for that. Okay, folks, please, let's stop allowing them to take us for granted. How come only the capital owned by most of us is taxed while the ones mostly held by the wealthy are not? How comes? Because we have a purchased government by the wealthy. But you know what? We still have one person, one vote. Educate ourselves. Let's educate ourselves so that they can't snow us like that senator attempted to snow every American that watched that Sunday program yesterday morning. It is high time for us to enlighten ourselves about the word salad that Republicans and neoliberals use to fool Americans. The Social Security and Medicaid fix is simple. Tax all income and wealth. It will lower the taxes on most Americans and provide us with more services. It's a mathematical certainty. Moreover, it is fair. It is time for the wealthy to stop being parasites. They've built their wealth on our intellect, on our service, on our labor. One might buy into the narrative that people are living longer and that increasing the retirement age is justified. I have a better argument. We should have a lower retirement age. It will make for a better society as more people who have been productive all of their lives have a more pleasant time doing what they really want to do. It could lead to a much kinder and a more volunteer society. For those who think we cannot afford that, that is what a rich, greedy, selfish plutocracy would like you to believe. Robotics, efficiency, and productivity have increased exponentially. Many fear automation. I think we should embrace automation. It should lead to a both shorter work week and early retirements. The problem is that in today's economic system, all the profits from productivity and efficiency have gone to the executives and shareholders. In other words, we provide the intellect, we provide the labor, we provide the efficiency, we provide the increased productivity and profits, and it went all to a select few. Is that what you want? Do you believe that? Do you believe that you are so undeserving that every productivity increase in your company is due to your manager who does nothing? It's due to your executive who does nothing? It's due to your shareholder who does nothing? Is that what you really believe? Do you really think that lowly of ourselves? It is time for us to assert our worth. When we understand the ingrained thievery of our system, we will start asserting our worth and demanding what is ours. Are you ready? James, come on in.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on, James.
Hi. Yeah. I was calling in to say I definitely agree with what you're saying that there is an organized push to take away these public safety nets that we have.
Yes, sir.
The one point I'd like to make is, unfortunately, it's not only Republicans who are participating in the shift from public to private
Yes.
ownership of assets.
Yes. let me cut you there, James. I don't know if you came into the beginning of the program, but here's what my subtitle was. It says, if you think the Social Security cuts that Republicans and neoliberals, I never said just Republicans, and neoliberals. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to draw people's attention to another change that's been happening. It's moved a lot of people's 401k.
You're breaking up a lot, sir. Is there a way for you to stay in a...
Okay.
Yeah, see if you can come in.
Can you hear me any better now?
A little bit better. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So there were changes to the regulations that guide how 401k investments are handled.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's basically removed all accounting requirements and things like that, where the owner of the 401k can look at how the managers are handling it.
You know what, James, I'm so sorry, but we can't understand. James, I'm so sorry, but we can't understand. See if you can call back. Yeah, call back again and see if you get a better line. Let's go to Peggy. Come on in, Peggy. Peggy, you're hot.
I keep hearing you say how to get skin in the game.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mostly, I get confused about that sometimes myself. Mostly, I hear people say with money, but many of us who do absolutely depend on that Social Security check to live have no money.
Peggy,
So
let me stop you right there, Peggy. Let me stop you right there, because I don't know if today was the first day you've listened to Politics Done Right. I hope not, because one of the things that you realize with this show is the money is not everything at all. I always ask people, those who have money, put skin in the game, support this show. But I also tell people, you know what, Peggy, you're listening to this show right now. You have a phone and you have friends, and you have friends that don't think like you. Just telling your friends about, hey, I want you to start listening to this program at KPFT called Politics Done Right. We are a community. All of us are a community. And we all bring to that community. Some of us can bring financial assets. Some of us bring other human assets. Some of us bring what we can do. We are all in this together. And I am with you 100% when you say, look, skin in the game. When I say skin in the game, that's exactly what I mean, Peggy. Your call here and you giving me a chance to just say what I just said is you having skin in the game.
And I agree with that. And beyond that, I think that we need to, out here listening to you and paying attention to you, we need to have more organizations that come and tell us what we can do in our neighborhood, in our little communities, wherever we find ourselves. That, like, I don't know who different people would write letters to about different stuff, but there's organizations out there who will tell us more ways to put skin in the game. I talk to my neighbors. I tell my friends. I get everybody I can. I wear your shirts when I do my balloons, and some people ask me about the shirt. So that's...
By the way, thank you.
You're welcome. And because, you know, I'm 80, and it's been a long, slugging kind of feeling life of always being on the wrong side. And that's not the corporate side. And I think that the corporate side is now beginning to be the wrong side.
Amen.
And I'm so I'm going to hang in here. I have friends who in the 30s were trying to get universal health care. So it's a lot of that stuff. And they struggled and fought to get Social Security when they saw that the corporations were removing their retirement packages for their workers. Well, and, it's just that when
Peggy,
I hear you...
I'm sorry.
When I hear you use skin in the game, I would like for you to invite more organizations in to show us how to get more skin in the game.
Well, you know something, Peggy, and that's why we have great callers, great supporters like you. And the reason why is where we falter in the message, you're there to enhance it. And that's what it's all about. That's why you hear me talk both here and on there. And by the way, Peggy, I didn't realize this was Peggy from the internet. I'm talking to you because I didn't realize, but you have always had skin in the game. And what I'm also saying is that by what you just said, because let me tell you what I got out of what you just said as well. You just told me you can turn folks off by saying skin in the games when these folks are doing the best they can, and I got to remember that they're doing the best they can. And so thank you for giving that awareness. And in my narrative, I'll try to remember to add that where I don't, like I didn't earlier on. Add that to the narrative because it is important. What the right and neoliberals look. You see how you found that thing about that. You see how you were able to correct that narrative skin in the game. What you'd see a lot of the right does is they'll go to a bunch of, let's say, poor folk in Appalachia, and they'll say, "You see how that guy is talking? That you don't have skin in the game. That's why you need to be with us." And, so that is why we always are supposed to have an enhancing message and listening to all those that are listening to us. So, Senora Peggy, muchísimas thank you.
Well, you keep up the good work.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, okay? Let's go to Alistair. Come on in, my dear, beautiful Alistair. What's going on?
Hey, brother. So, hey, I want to come to the party, and I would love to get hooked up with a T-shirt.
Oh, well, you know something there? You are going to be hooked up with this T-shirt, and you're a member of KPFT. You just joined last week, as I recall.
I did.
Yes, so
I did. I finally got on the bandwagon. But hey, I am so glad to jump into this water.
Well, let me tell you, girl, I am so happy that you're there. But you know, whatever the case is, you are the PDR posse, girl. So whatever we're doing, you are posse, baby.
Amen. Thank you. I love sharing the word. I love spreading the love of KPFT and politics done right. And I love how I have a great relationship with my brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. I love him. I love him that he is a great husband for my baby sister. And I have a lot of respect for him.
Great.
We differ politically, vastly. But we love each other and respect each other enough that should a discussion on politics become a little heated, we do know enough to walk away. And if we have said something that is of offense to one another, we can come together and apologize for offending the other person.
Right.
So this show has helped me with that. Your books have helped me with a lot of it. And I'm so grateful, brother. And I just want to keep sharing your message that, for one, we can all come to the table. We do all have skin in the game when it comes to inviting people. We are able to put skin in the game that way. And I'm grateful for this platform, brother.
Thank you so, and you've always been my sister, man. So thank you so kindly, Alistair. And I tell you what, when Tori's taking care of all this stuff for us to get together. So when Tori gets it all together, we're gonna you'll know, okay?
Yeah, you got my email and you know how to reach out.
Absolutely.
So hey,
Alistair, I've got your phone number. I'll call you when the shirts get in.
Cool beans, Tori. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alice. Anything else you want to add before we go, Alistair?
Nope. God's blessings to all. And hey, enjoy this beautiful Houston weather.
Thank you, girl. Love you, girl. You have a good one, okay?
Love you.
All right.
All right.
Have
bye.
a good one. Bye-bye. Anyway, folks, so I finished the essay I want to finish the essay with the last statement that says the following. When we understand the ingrained thievery of our system, we will start asserting our worth and demanding what is ours. And my question to you is the following. Are you ready? Are you ready to take your country and and taking your country means the following. It means electing people who are going to do you right, do the masses right, do it right for us all. That's what we're talking about. It is, and we still have one person, one vote. The Supreme Court has not yet asserted all of its power. I don't know if you read the blog that I wrote last week where I said, forget what you learned in school. In school, you learned that there were three co-equal parts of our government: the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive. That's not true. That is what they write in the books. That is what we learn, and that's what we imply from the Constitution. But in practice, there is no co-equality in our different segments of the government, the different branches of government. The Supreme Court, you see that name? What's the name again? Supreme Court. Supreme Courts are supreme. And if we have justices in the Supreme Courts who are ideologically bound to a failed ideology, that is what the country gets. Those 9 people on the courts, to be specific, 6 people on the court, they're the ones who rule America. Because what they say go until we change that. That is how America is run. 713-526-5738. 713-526-5738, extension 1. We are in fund drive mode still. I've gotten through with the essay. I've gotten through with the statements I wanted to make about Social Security. And now the marching orders. The marching orders are as follows. We have an election in 2 years. Here's it. In the next 2 years, they can't make any changes to Social Security. But comes 2004, if you elect the wrong people, those changes not may come, they will come. In a next blog, I'll tell you why they must come if the other side wins. And when I say the other side, I'm not just talking about Republicans here. I'm talking about the other side being an ideological attack, those who ideologically attack social programs. And they attack it because it means they have to give up more of the wealth that they pilfered from most of us. 713-526-5738. Please remember to hit option 1 and support the program, support what we're doing here. I'm refreshing my page to see if we have additionals, but I want to give a big thank you to Patty Amick. Thank you so kindly for your support of Politics Done Right. We simply cannot do this with you. She is a sustaining member, and we'd like those of you who could be sustainers would be great. Can you give us a coffee a month, $5 a month? Can you give us 2 coffees a month, $10 a month? Can you give us 3 coffees a month? Whatever you can. Just say, I'm going to make the commitment to this program that I like to listen to every Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at noon. I will support this program. I'll call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And look, I honestly understand that just about everybody in the political sphere is asking you for money. Here's a community radio station as well asking you for money. And sometimes people just get tired of it. I get it. If you see my inbox, I give a little bit of money to dozens of organizations because I want to do something. And if for those that I don't give, I share their stuff. I make sure others see it, all that sort of stuff. So I want you guys, if you have the wherewithal, if you have the ability to give us a coffee a month, 2 coffees a month, 3 coffees a month, please give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. We spoke about Social Security today. This is something that affects everybody. It's not just if you're on the red side of the aisle or the blue side of the aisle or the neutral side of the aisle. It affects us all. And if you think that there aren't powers out there attempting to marginalize you because they they can take away a few dollars from you every month, your Social Security, because it's just a few, and they can run themselves to the bank. 713-526-5738. Eric Hayes says, Egberto, you sure want the debt ceiling raised right for us to make things even worse? Live in a budget. Eric Hayes, I think, I love you, brother, but you really need to re-educate yourself on economics and sovereign currencies. It is so important for you to re-educate yourself on economics, and sovereign currencies. And not only that, but consider listening to Stephanie Kelton. That's the economist who understands well. And by the way, if you doubt what she's saying, the reason we hadn't had inflation after overspending supposedly for these decades until now is exactly because the formula that we talked about and the excess slack in our economy was probative. Julie Henderson, welcome to Politics Done Right. Representative Orono from Maxwell has a bill to eliminate Social Security limits. All must pay into the system. I agree. There you go, Julie. Absolutely so. I think I did a video about that a couple of days ago as well. Let's see. Eric Hayes says, more people are so unhealthy. That might be a big reason, along with suicide and mental illness. It doesn't matter. Even if they are eating bad food, the fact that they're eating bad food, the fact that we don't have a good educational program that causes people to want to eat right should tell us something about our entire system. Look at how many other countries there are in the world where we don't have that problem, Eric Hayes. Let's see what else we have. John Smith says, Egberto is admitting that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. I never admitted that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Social Security is just that, Social Security, and it's something that our government should duly provide to every citizen of the United States. Why have a society that can't be societal? Again, I repeat, why have a society that cannot be societal? Corporations like society because society has order. But they hate what it takes to support society. Think about that. They love society because society has order. And there's nothing better for any company or organization than order. But they don't want to invest in making sure that all those that are kept orderly are taken care of. Alistair Waters says, Eric, you really need to stop gaslighting. Yeah, that is some good stuff going on. Go ahead. Let's hear what you got to say, Tori.
Now, we're about to close this thing down. You got a few seconds.
Yes.
Ease it on out there, Egberto.
All right, folks, let me tell you, he said I got a few seconds. I hope that means like 30 seconds. So if I have 30 seconds, I'd like to close it out this way. I want to tell all of you that, first of all, I want to thank everyone who's listening to me right now. And I want to ask everyone who's listening to me right now to please share this information. If you have concerns about the information that I've just given, please send me an email to info@politicsdoneright.com. I answer my emails, info@politicsdoneright.com. If you want to be on our program and you have something positive to say, whether you agree with me or not is not, but just something to say, you can always contact me as well. This is your program. Politics Done Right belongs to you. So I need to get out of here right now. So I want to let you know that my name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.